we're so happy to have you here with us today, man. You're kind of a legend in the circles that we sort of run in. And before we started the podcast, I showed Cam him wearing his shirt. Well, not his shirt, it's a shirt he drew.
He stole it from
his. Yeah, I didn't like going to. I think we're probably a different size, honestly. So, Cam, we know you from Avenged Sevenfold, but after doing like some research, you've been involved in like so. How does that even start? How does it even start like with the profession of making awesome stuff for bands?
So yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to kind of meet all you guys digitally, and not just on screen names. Avenged Sevenfold brought me in actually. We all grew up on the same block when we were kids. We all went to the same like elementary school and high school and all of that.
Dude.
When they started their band, it was like, well, I want their band to do good, so like I'll make some art for their band. And they're like, oh, I want Cam's art to do good, so we'll put his shit, forefronted on our stuff. And then it's funny because I think I was 20 at the time, and I was making my third or fourth painting of all time. And it goes on a record that goes multi-platinum and blows across the, the whole record industry. And all of a sudden you go from like nobody to some amateur that has no idea what he's doing, way in over his head. And, I got some real criticism harshly right out the gate where it's like, this dude's terrible. And it's like, well, it's like my third piece of art. I don't know what you want. So, you take that.
That's crazy.
At some point, like, I got tough and went back to school, and it's like, okay, make me the fucking master.
Mm-hmm.
And I continued to work on a lot of stuff with Avenged throughout the years, and then other things came. Was doing some work for Slipknot for a long time, and I worked for they got me a gig at and this is like really cut my teeth. They got me a gig at a merch company, and the merch company goes, give me 10 designs for, you name it, Korn, right? Give me 10 designs for Five Finger Death Punch. Give me 10 designs for whatever. And then they pay you for all the ones the band likes, right? And that was the era of when they were doing it that. I'm sure now it's all AI art, right?
Right.
But there was a time where you would like walk into a Hot Topic and Bullet for My Valentine, Atreyu, Avenged Sevenfold, and all of that other merch looked all the same because it was the same 4 artists who were just repackaging all of the artwork, changing the names on them, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, why
That's
does everything have blood splatter, bullets, and skulls in it? Like, and it did that for like 10 years,
Yeah.
But
That's
the
crazy.
era of those merchandising companies, they would pay great. I got to work on a Paul McCartney cycle,
Whoa.
which that was huge. And,
Wow.
I put a ton of work into it, but it was just cool when somebody huge picks one. I think the hardest one I did was when Korn made the album with Skrillex. And I was like, what the fuck does dubstep look like? It's like, what is it, robots fucking? And they're like, no, dude, it's like lasers. It's like laser. I'm like, you try to think like, what does that music like look like visually? And it's like, I don't know, satellites and shit. And it's like, it was so difficult to wrap your head around. Yeah, the nice thing is when like now I'm at a good spot where like I kind of only work with friends most of the time, and I only kind of work on projects that I want to. And when it's the albums are the last one we just finished the Used record, Toxic Positivity. And it's funny because it's like released yesterday, I think. And the record release show was last night. That's why I sound hoarse. But I actually have been working on that record for 14 months.
Holy cow. Yeah.
It started a year plus ago, and it's cool that everything's falling out now and everybody's seeing it now, but these cycles are, really long. They're big, and a lot goes into it, It's like, what do you want the stage to look like? What do you want the video to look like? What do you want this, even the tiny little, like, minutia of animations and where people's name goes in the liner notes and things like that it's cool. I get to manage, like, a lot of that stuff. And some artists are like, here's your art, and they fuck off. But I really do care about the whole everything that my name is attached to, So with bigger bands like Avenged or The Used or Slipknot, it's like a lot of that's super, super important.
Dude, I, by the way, love the art for that new used record. Yeah. The flowers like dumping out of the skeleton. I don't know why, but I can almost feel it when I look at it. It's weird. It's It's just so dope. I don't know.
Thank you. I'm gonna say something that gonna sound super dated later, but I really like the AI art, and I don't I don't think it's a good enough tool on its own to be a finished product. It's like this is the thing. All of it has a feel of like kind of too overdone. Can't see the artist's hand in it. You can't. It doesn't really have like the vibes when you look at something going, "Oh, that's really like rad," you know.
Yeah.
And you go, "That's cool." Did you put all that work in? That's kind of the vibe I get with it. But if you're using it as a tool, do these colors make sense? Does this composition make sense? You know, is it exciting enough or dynamic enough or scary enough or whatever? And I think with those things is you're able to use it as like another uh, piece of your arsenal, which I think is the smart way to look at it. There's a ton of pushback. If you want to own into the Deathbats Discord, like, what do you think of AI art? I'm like, I love it, and they're like, oh, of course. Oh,
We talked to Brian Morris too, and he was kind of the same way. He's like, I use it as a tool, to throw ideas around at it and stuff. So I think it's cool.
I mean, I'd like to say I use it as a tool, but the reality is that like my brain isn't like, let's see what AI thinks,
Right.
yet. But it will. I'm using it as like a toy. Like it's super fun. Like just make me some weird shit. I don't know if you guys have been using ChatGPT at all. But
all the time.
All the time. Okay.
Yeah.
We started using like legal disclaimers and cease and desist and all kinds of things. And all of a sudden, like, guess who doesn't have to pay a lawyer anymore? And it's like, well, how about it plans our launch schedule and our marketing and all of a sudden it can do everything. Yeah. And it's like, well, there's a ton of people going to be out of work in a minute. And then
I had a really
variants, and then it does. I'm like, oh, so I'm at work too.
yeah, you're next.
Yep.
No, I had like a really big exam like a month ago, and I went to ChatGPT and just typed in, "Hey, could you write me some practice questions with rationale for it?" And dude, it was like on the money. It was so good, but like it can just do anything.
Yeah, but if you have done like the work, and if you plug that in, and it's like, make me a more concise, polished version. Why wouldn't you want all of the information that's ever hit the internet to polish your version?
Right.
Yeah.
So my argument's always embrace the wave. It's just easier.
Yeah.
Like the descriptions on this podcast, I'll take. So Riverside, this program has a little bit of AI that runs in the back end as well. Wait, that sounded dirty. But it has like...
Not that kind of podcast. Not that kind of podcast.
It writes up like the scripts, right? For you. Like it does that. So I'll go in and copy those, and then I'll put them in like Chat GPT or Bard. Bard's the Google, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a Google one. So I'll throw them in there and I'll be like, hey, write me a episode description using this transcript. And it fucking just kicks one out in like 3 seconds. I don't have to do anything. It's amazing. I'll go through and like, fix it up, polish it myself after the fact. But I'm like, oh my God. Saves you an hour.
It's funny because this conversation is going to sound so dated in like a year.
We're going to sound like freaking grandpas. It's going to be obsolete.
Like, oh, look at ChatGPT, these nerds.
Where do you think it'll be in? Like, cause I think about that a lot because it's just moving at such light speed right now. Like, what do you think it's going to be in a year? Like,
I honestly, and this sounds super shitty, but like mediocre jobs are going to get wrecked. And people that leverage it early, I think, will have a first mover advantage of being really good at their jobs. And if, I was listening to a story yesterday from a buddy, and he works at, some tax agency. And it was like, boss brings everybody in on Zoom and goes, tell me who you are, why you're important, and why AI shouldn't replace you by Friday.
Oh my God.
Jesus. But if you've already moved on it, I would just have the freaking AI tell him why I'm important.
No shit.
It's like a sword that cuts both ways, like, you can get on it now or you could not, and I think it's going to hurt and I think a lot of people, they just want to collect their paycheck and, like kick it over the weekend and just unplug, watch some sports, not care. And then there's people who are like hooked in the hustle culture of grind every second of every day. And I hate to say it, but those people are gonna win. They're gonna win.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not moving forward, you're standing still.
Yeah.
I think it'll really emphasize skilled labor too. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
things that AI can't do. I mean, like yet, and I don't know. It might be a good comeback for the blue collar worker. Oh my gosh! Wow, I just
Right?
had that thought.
But think about this though, right? What's the one thing that robots can't do? I think it's like fold clothes. The highest person in our society is probably going to be that person at Banana Republic folding shirts.
Look at the crease on that.
I hope so. All the bakers are gone, and it's just
Just that dude at Banana Republic.
Yeah.
Or Costco, at the Costco, they're like, there's mountains of clothes everywhere, and there's always employees folding them. Dude, they're the top of the food chain right now, my guy.
I hope so. I hope they win.
Dude, why can't Costco stack their damn clothes like per size though? Why do I have to dig through a pile? I just don't understand why that's
Andy.
so hard. I love Costco clothes, by the way.
All I know is that $12 for some jeans that will stretch to the size that I need them to stretch to is probably the best thing ever. So.
Hey man, I've got
dude, and $1.50 hot dog at the end of it.
We've been trying to collect all this Kirkland wear. It's funny. Dig deep into StockX, you can find like these Kirkland sweatsuits and shit. I don't think I could wear it in public because it's too much, right? But it doesn't mean you don't want it. And once every like couple of months, Costco will drop one, and they just drop like these slide flip flops that say Kirkland signature across the top.
Oh, dude!
$100, and they're like $100 on StockX. It's like,
remember that guy at the Atreyu concert?
Yeah, he walked by, and I was like, because we were out there, and some dude that was like 5 years older than us was basically treating us like, oh, you haven't been to any shows before, but he was talking about Andy's Metallica shirt that he had on, and we just got into this whole t-shirt conversation, and everybody's like kind of talking about these cool vintage shirts or whatever that they have. And then this kid walks out with the Kirkland signature shirt. And I was like, bro.
hell yeah.
It was so sweet. I was like, that's my guy.
Dudes from my generation are like the worst with the t-shirts. They built all these like rules in the 90s where it's like, you don't wear the shirt of the band you're going to go see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, well, why not? Who cares? What else are you wearing that fucking shirt?
Right.
Right. Like, just like sitting in your living room. It's like, well, time to go to the Avenged concert. Better get my Metallica shirt on. How does that make sense? But yeah, there's all these like, and then they covet them like they're artifacts, right? Like, or if you ever ask a Slayer fan where they got their old shirt, you will get like a 20-minute story. Yeah.
That's my girlfriend's family too. They will not wear any like sports stuff of their favorite team on game day unless they're at the thing live.
Oh, it's
never
understood.
Yeah, I never understood that either. Their family like does not wear the gear on game day unless they're in the stadium. But I'm like, that's the only time I wear my like Cowboys shit is if the Cowboys are playing that day.
Yeah, where else are you wearing it?
Yeah, on my podcast too, I guess.
Yeah, going to dinner. But Cowboys stuff is like a cultural thing. Like out in California here, we have a million teams and a million things going on. So nobody cares about any team until they're doing good. They call us fair weather fans. And it's like, well, isn't that capitalism right there? Why do I want to watch you suck for 3 years? Like, go move to New York, be a Mets fan. You want to watch your team lose every weekend. Like,
It's been hard being a Cowboys fan for the past decade or more now.
Decade, bro. We're like, geez, we're almost on 3 decades here.
Dude,
I saw you on CNN.
Yeah.
You were on like a CNN article.
Yeah, we did some good press. It's like, which is funny because like I wanted to discuss with CNN like our community of like degenerate stock traders, and that's like really a kind of a global thing. And they were like, "How much money did you make? How fast did you make it?" And it's like, just chill out, CNN. Like, I'm so thirsty about that. Like, like, how did you do it? And then when they put
chill out, CNN.
42-year-old artist made $1 billion. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, that's not what that interview was about. You know, it was about like collecting cute little art things with like Cybertrucks and shit. Not like
I want a T-shirt. I'm gonna get a T-shirt that says "Chill out, CNN" on it, dude. That's the best quote that I've ever heard.
Just funny because it was CNBC, but
Oh, CNBC.
Oh, still
that's
though.
right. CNBC.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, at the time it was like, how did you make money so we can figure out how to do it, right?
Right.
Which was the
Yeah.
narrative, and then like fast forward 6 months, it was like these fucking pieces of shit ripped all these people off. I was like, whoa, bro, I thought we were girlfriends before, and now it's like we're bad people now.
Chill
So
out.
the narrative changed fast, you know?
Dude, my headline from this podcast is going to be Cam Rackham misses Steve's birthday. Like,
and then in parentheses it'll be "Chill out,
We're gonna get you.
CNN."
Chill out,
And it's not even CNN's issue. They'll be
there was CNBC. I knew it was one of the financial ones. I remember. I don't know. I saw that on there. I was like, whoa.
You know, part of when you start thinking like information is power, right? And every media outlet has their own narrative they want to push and it's not necessarily like an evil thing, right? It's more like they need the clicks. So to get the clicks, they got to do stuff and say stuff. But the real kind of truth in there is what the market tells you, right? Who's lying, who's in trouble, what country's being invaded, whatever it is. So the real kind of like truth that's out there, it's not what, newspaper or Google News is telling you or whatever it is. It's what the economy is telling you, and it's wrong a lot, right? But over the long term, it never is. So, me and some of the partners are like well plugged in, and it's like, for us, it's fun because we think that there's a financial conspiracy theory behind everything, right? Sam Bankman-Fried blew up his crypto exchange. He probably didn't start as a bad guy, but became a really bad guy. But then somebody bailed him out of jail for like $40 million, the highest bail ever. And then we had a pool. Who bailed this fucking dude out? It has to be a handful of rich people, and I bet we can figure it out, right? And then those are probably the people that were so connected to the crypto exchange they didn't want to get caught. And it's like, how do you unravel that knot? And it's a fun conversation to have, when the Silicon Valley Bank gets decimated. Why didn't the government step in and save them, save everybody else, right? Oh, was it because of everybody in Silicon Valley's a VC firm that has blockchain technology? So like, yeah, fuck the crypto people. Like, let them drown. And it's like, kind of builds on the conspiracy theory that the government doesn't want their currency tampered with. And makes sense to me, But unraveling those kinds of things, I think, is fascinating. We don't make any money on that stuff, and it takes a ton of work every week, but we just kind of love doing it for our community. And, some of the real-time trades that we've come up with, they've done really, really well, where it's one of those, like, if the information is power and the economy is going to tell you the truth at some point, then that's probably a pretty good thing to share with people that they can't be sucking in every little piece of information all day too.
I need to go. Did you say it was Wall Street Bulls? Or
we are the Wall Street Bulls.
I need to go check it out. Maybe
find me one. In. I'll give you guys free bulls. Like, I give everybody free bulls. I don't sell the NFTs like I give them away. I just buy them and give them away. Our best members, and no, I mean, community's gonna get mad, but like the best 2 hardest core members we have came from the Death Bats Club. Yeah, Liz and Derek. And the community grows in this like kind of really fun way. And it doesn't always have to be like, I just like music, or I just like finance, or I just like financial crime, or whatever it is. So it was like kind of like a really bad bear market. And a lot of people got crushed all over the place, but we share the same developers as the Avenged Sevenfold team. And we wanted to build a thing where you could gamble your NFT, right? So we spent 6 months building this protocol out. So most NFT collections, it's like 125, 150 traits out of 10,000 NFTs. And it's like, okay, well, we have that, right? What if we build another 500 art traits, right? Chop them up and layer 3 blockchain contracts together. You purchase a token for cheap, and then you can gamble your NFT. So you've got a little cartoon bull. He's riding a rocket. He's got sunglasses. and let's see him join the options market. So when they put their NFT into the options market, he's going to get rich, nicer car, sexy lady, right? Full tank of gas, whatever it is. Or he's going to get homeless, live in a tent by the side of the freeway, right? Or we send him to jail, which you can bail him out of jail, but he comes out with like a tattoo or a Quran or something.
Nice.
Or we kill it, right? So you can lose it too. And then that's where the real stakes are, is you enter this thing, it costs you, your NFT costs you money, the token costs you money, and you have a percentage that this thing could die, right?
Whoa.
Yeah, it's like 15, 20%. It's like not nice. So if you make it, even if your thing comes out homeless, you can take a rare property off the floor, put it into the options market, gamble it, and end up with a top 500 ranked out of 10,000.
I love
it
that.
It took a ton of math that I suck at, and it took a ton of hard work, and we added, 500 traits to the collection. So anybody who doesn't get killed has a sub 450 NFT, which is, I think it's a great deal. Like, some of these things are sold for a ton of money, and it's kind of good to jump the line.
Now I'm mad that I haven't been in there earlier.
You gotta have the balls to do it. If you have like a rare one, so your shit's already rare and you throw it in, now we're like shaving the edge of like who's the greatest. I think Harrison, actually, from the Death Bass Club, has the rarest one. I think his bull went to jail 4 times. He's got teardrops all the way down his face now.
That's rad.
Like, it's cool. It's fun. It's fun. It's one of those things where, if you go to Vegas and you gamble, like, right, you like get the chips, okay, or you lose, they take your chips, but it's just chips. Like, who gives a shit? This is a thing that you've been staring at for a minute, right? It's a piece of artwork too, and you love it. So can you take, your little buddy and throw him into the meat grinder and see if you blow him up? If he comes out, you're thrilled because you survived, right?
Yeah.
Love him.
Dude, if you're telling me.
You were fucking crushed. And the real stakes with it, now we're communicating in like a whole different kind of way. So come join our options party. It's cool. I think we got like 40 tokens that we're going to give out for free. Oh, God, I think it's Monday or Tuesday. We have an event. And we have about 15, 20 people that join the thing. Yeah,
so if your bull dies or whatever, do you just burn it? Is it
we burn
it? Holy
and fuck. What happens too is not only do we burn it, but we made this graphic where he shows up on a little headstone.
Oh no!
So we have a graveyard wallet, and it's just like, you want to see your NFT, go check out the graveyard wallet. It's just a whole,
oh no!
Dude, that's even worse.
The thing with that too is we're burning down the collection like a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So there's getting more valuable. So it's like, if you're like, I'm not risking this shit, I spent a lot of money on this. Well, if you have a virgin one, over the long period of time, that'll become more coveted or more valuable because it hasn't been tampered with.
Dude, so I'm thinking, I'm not in there. I need to come over there and check it out and get a bull. But I'm sitting here thinking, like, I don't know if I could throw my death bat into something like that. You know what I mean? I couldn't risk
I want
that.
to throw a bull. I want to do one of those. I'm gonna have to come over and get one.
That's the thing. But then once you're in with the buddies, and they're like, do it. And you go, no way. Listen to 6 months of them doing do it. You might crack.
Or you watch somebody pull something.
I lost one. I lost a rare one I had since mid-Thursday. I was furious, right?
Oh my God.
But even I'm susceptible to like, I'm never gambling that thing. And it's like, yeah, I did it.
No. You're going to be at When We Were Young this year?
Yeah. It's funny because like melodic punk bands were.
That was a real fast change. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. Weird transition. Melodic punk bands were always like shoved in with like and we're talking in California, right? So they're always shoved in with like the harder core punk bands. So you'd have like a Pennywise, No Effects, something heavier, and then there would be like a Blink or a Green Day or whatever, right? But this is like the first melodic punk festival I think I've ever seen with like a lineup like this.
It's a crazy lineup.
It is. It's really intense. My best friend does When We Were Young, Sick New World, and all those cool new festivals in Vegas. So it's stupid if I don't because I gotta pay for the access. And the problem is like I went to the System of Down one 2 weeks ago, and I think I put in like 35,000 steps just walking around the festival.
Holy
dude.
95-degree Vegas desert heat. Like,
dude.
it was brutal. It was brutal. You're watching people collapse at 2:00, and it's like, oh, you
Dude.
got a big day. You better drink some water. Like, you know what's great about that? When we were young was the geriatric mosh pit. Like old 40-year-old dudes trying not to slip a disc. I'm talking shit, but I went into that Avenged mosh pit last week.
Oh, you did?
Vegas.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, everybody's hanging out in the VIP and they're smoking cigarettes and they're running their mouths, and it's like, oh man, I feel old. I gotta go do the thing. You know. I remember telling my wife, I'm like, I'm not old. You're old. She's like, where are you going? Don't worry about it. It's like, oh man, I hope I don't break something.
That's awesome. I saw we ran into Val too, just running around downstairs in the
we bumped
in
into
the wild.
Val.
Yeah,
That
we're
was
not
kinda
like
cool.
house cats. Like I think people like Val and people that have been around the band a long time. We know a lot of the fans. We like seeing them. Like, and it's almost like a reunion. You're like, oh, dude, that's like shit. I haven't seen that dude since the last cycle. It's cool.
That's rad that you were in the pit though. Now I feel like a bitch. I need to get my ass in the pit. I was like, I ain't doing it.
Dude,
I ain't doing it.
scared. I thought it was so hurt. Like,
Oh yeah, I didn't want to, but now
up front's too sweaty for me. It's too sweaty.
Other people's sweat is the problem. It's not just your sweat; it's other people's sweat on you. When I was a teenager, I didn't care, but 35-year-old Tim cares.
Yeah.
I care.
So is the used Salt Lake's like 2 hours from us, so when they were kind of up and coming, it was like home team type of thing for me. I felt like it's like, dude, they're from Salt Lake City and they're going big. This is crazy, So I really latched onto them. I mean, I was in high school, I think, but are they still in the Salt Lake area? Or are they out in LA now?
I think every member of that band lives in a different country now.
Wow.
Don't quote me on that, but I know the singer lives in
cool.
Australia, and one of the guys. Oh God, what? I don't want to misspeak because I should know this and I just can't remember. But I know they don't all live together. So when they have to like rehearse and practice and write records and things like that, they all have to come from like really far away places. Which there is something great about that is I think you have like this like, okay, focus. You're here to creatively collaborate, and it's a serious thing. And I think it's their process, and I think that process is really cool. Avenged process. So I live between Johnny Christ and M Shadows and Sinister Gates.
They like all live in the same street, right?
And then Zach Avenged he's just like a couple of blocks further down, right? So we all live in the same hood still, which is funny. But like they have a much more, or I think, organic way of doing things where it's like, come over, I have an idea, let's see if we can flush it out, kind of stuff. And I think that creative process is really, really cool. Because you're shuffling things back and forth until it's right,
Right.
Or until it's really good or really creative or things like that.
I was thinking about how all of you guys ended up like, there's this crazy amount of talent that ended up like on the same team in the same spot at the same time. It's just wild. Like,
it's funny.
One of those guys, one of you guys,
is like a God-given, blessing that you just wake up with. But they don't see the thousands and thousands of hours of labor. Like, I mean, there were so many years where, Gates is just sitting there doing sweeps on his guitar for, 8 hours a day, sitting on his couch, just, like building this muscle memory up to this point where he doesn't even have to think about it. It's automatic, and to do Beethoven shit automatically, it's super impressive. It's and people go, wow, I can't wrap my head around that. Must be magic. It's not magic. This dude fucking put the labor in.
Yeah.
And I think, a lot of people get into, I don't think so much anymore. I think in the 2000s, a ton of people would get into music because they didn't want a conventional job. It's like, should I be a tattoo artist or should I become a musician? Right? It's like, I want girls, I want money, I want a cool car. They wanted those kinds of, things where they might not necessarily have been called to it because that was their creative artistic calling. It was more like, I want that. And I don't think that necessarily that particular archetype is going to put in the 200,000 hours of labor to try to be as good as they can be. Also with the band, like, they all push each other to be the greatest, right? I'm lucky I don't have any partners because they all have to like be nice to each other, right? I don't, but at the same time, like, those are my friends. I want to be successful, I want to be like, respected in my field,
Right.
I want to be like as good as I can be. So it pushes you when you see your friends that have that kind of mentality and behavior, ambitious, aggressive, creative. I think those things are really exciting qualities, and it's stuff that I like to emulate. I wish I was as good of an artist as they are a band. I'll tell you what.
Oh man, when I got to see you in Vegas, I was tripping balls. I was so stoked. I'm like, dude, that was Cam Rackam. What? That's how much I love your shit. So like, I don't know. I wouldn't say that about you.
Watching us on video, right? But Tim is wearing a "Hail to the King" shirt.
Hold on, let me flap its wings really fast. Hold on.
I remember when they were writing that record, and they had a new drummer at the time, and it was the first record the Rev wasn't on, which was very difficult. And when we were doing that one, was like, let's just make the most solid metal album that's going to be made. It's like, okay. And then they were like, what are your ideas for the artwork? And it's like, okay, solid metal album. And I'd heard a bunch of the songs, like Shepherd of Fire and Hail to the King and stuff like that. And it's like, you ever seen that last scene in Conan the Barbarian, where he's sitting on the throne, he's killed everybody, he's got a spear, and it was inspired by this fantastic Frank Frazetta painting that was painting Conan for hundreds of years in the 70s. And it was like, oh, we need the Death Bat to be like, he's won the battle and fucking King is here. And then it just kind of evolved to be like scarier and scarier. So we wanted that whole like metal throne room, battle thing. I think originally the front of the album was supposed to be the Hail to the King cover where he was fighting dudes, and then you open it up and he's on the throne. I think that was the initial concept. But I remember that was a tough one because it was like, hey, I got this idea, but make Matt think it's his idea. And Matt was like, hey, I got this idea, send it to Zach, make it think it's his idea. It's like, just tell me what you want me to make. So they didn't tell me until like it was already like in the works, right? And I didn't know that was going to be part of the package. So when they told me, I was so stoked. I didn't believe that was even a thing that would be possible. It was never part of my plan to put like a 30-foot animatronic sculpture of my artwork on stage. With,
dude, that was so sweet too.
Also, I don't know if you guys know, but those massive jumbotrons, they had 4 huge jumbotrons that had to be delivered in their own fucking Mack truck because they're so big and so delicate,
Wow.
And all that artwork had to package with the 3D stage thing, and then they're like, let's just go bananas with the pyro, so there's fire everywhere. Right?
Yeah, dude, I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time that thing rolled out on stage, I couldn't believe it. The poor guys who made that, because I was such a dick about it, is when I found out I had creative control over the guys making the animatronic process. Like,
oh no,
I was like, I swear to God, if you guys put lasers in the eyes of the skeleton, I'm gonna come blow up your. I sent like the nastiest email. I was drinking, and the guy had sent me these like cutesy animation style kind of drawings, and I had laid into him so bad. I still feel bad about that poor fucking dude. And it was one of those like, don't ask Cam anymore. Like, dude, a dick. But definitely don't put the lasers in the eyes.
Dude, I must have
sounded like it just looks. It's just got that EDM vibe where the creature comes out and the eyes shoot a laser. It's like, no lasers in the eyes, not for skeletons.
Yeah, skeletons don't have lasers in their eyes.
Where I know you guys want to put like lights on everything, no light up eyes.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I must have seen that set like 5 times, dude. And the fire around it just made it so much better too. Like all that pyro. Oh my gosh!
And then they were shooting off fireworks at the end of those shows too.
Yeah,
like, super intense. Where it's like you're walking out of that going, Iron Maiden, who?
Dude,
what did I just see? You know,
Dude, that was such but those songs live, those Hail to the King songs live were like such a power album. You know what I mean?
oh yeah,
Oh,
They were
they're
written
so
for this. It seems like they were written for
Oh yeah.
the stage. Like,
I still love that. Hail to the King when they play that live, it's just like so because there's such an awesome crowd participation element. But then when there's fire everywhere, dude, then all of a sudden you're just like, bro.
it doesn't matter how bad you have to pee, or if you need another drink, or if you lost a girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
No matter what it is, you can't leave during that shit.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so sweet.
That's it. You're there.
Yeah.
Everyone's there.
Yeah,
I'm real
it's so
excited to
sweet.
see the production on the new one.
Yeah.
I love that he came out on stage with the ski mask. I think that's a super daring thing for artists to do. So yeah, so for the people listening, at the record release party, band hasn't played in what 3.5 years?
Something like that,
before the pandemic hasn't been a tour, not an album in 7, and so the fans haven't seen them in forever, and it's also really hard to play, like to come back, and get on the stage and crush it, right? It's super stressful, and it's like you have to remember, everything. And then Matt comes out on stage with the ski mask on, and the place goes bananas. And the daring thing about it is Kanye West just did his like rant on Alex Jones's Twitter with the ski mask. Balenciaga had all of those, like their groomer style campaign that blew up in their face with the masks. Pussy Riot runs the mask as a almost like a jokey way to stick it to the Russian state. I think when you're wearing a ski mask, it's a super hard thing to pull off and make it cool. I think if any of us did it, we'd look like idiots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
M Shadows comes and does it. It's like, oh my god, dude, how did you pull that off? And it was so cool. Where it's just like, dude, please keep this ski mask. It's too cool.
Dude.
It looks so dangerous.
Did you see Danny's ink that he got from Matt?
Oh, I saw some of the posts. Yeah, I responded to when he posted it. It's like, it's not so fucking easy, is it?
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
That's funny.
Oh, I got a funny Avenged thing for you guys since we're talking about tattoos. You're going to love this. So during the Waking the Fallen album, when the band was playing middays at Warped Tour.
It's the first time I saw him.
Yeah?
Yeah,
What,
during
you
that.
6?
No, I'm 36 now, so I was probably
it was the early days of the fans getting tattoos, and it's like we're gonna do like a lifestyle video, and all the fans are getting tattoos. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll go get like another Avenged tattoo. And it's like, I gotta be the hardest core one because I'm doing the artwork. So I went and I got my
dude,
big 7X on my lip.
oh my god.
And then I showed up, and there were a bunch of nerds there. I'm like, I'm not gonna be in this thing. And it's like, oh, you went through all that hard work to get that on? It's like, oh, dude, that's gonna live forever and be attached to these nerds forever. So I declined to be in the video.
Nerds.
Tattoo on my lip.